Siri mutabani wa mugayavu, Siri muzzukulu wa mubanda, Siri nze Siri jjajjange Kintu, taata Buntu, Kintu bwe buntu bulamu. Yeah. Obuntu bulamu bwe buba mu Kintu, obuntu ye muntu gwe muganda gw'obuntu bulamu. Siri mutabani wa mugayavu, nze Siri muzzukulu wa mubanda, Siri jjajjange Kintu, taata Buntu, Kintu bwe buntu bulamu. Obuntu mu Kintu bwe muganda gw'obuntu, mugwe bwe buntu bulamu.
Hello world, happy new year, happy 2021. My name is Ngomzi, the Solution Watava, and I welcome you to the Solution Today podcast. This is the very first podcast of the year 2021, and I'm very excited that I get to come to do this. And why I'm also super psyched is because it's a very first live broadcast that I'm doing out of our studio at the Solution Creative, somewhere in the outskirts of Kampala. And I'm very excited about the potential and the possibilities that are coming at you. And as you might notice, it's still a work in progress. But if I've learned anything in life, it's that progress beats perfection anytime. If you're waiting for the perfect time to start out on something, if you're waiting for the perfect time to pursue your dream, if you're waiting for the perfect time to do what needs to be done in your life, if you do not take the opportunity to do it today, tomorrow might be too late. That is something that I've come to learn. And speaking of learning, I want us to get into this class real quick. I want us to just take 5 minutes out of today, but I want to hope that in these 5 minutes you will live with something that will catapult you and accelerate your growth in 2021. Because like I said, my prayer for you and for me and for everyone out there is that 2021 will be a year of exponential growth, of growth beyond what you and I could have imagined. And like the great man said, I think it was Confucius, that the journey of 1,000 miles begins with one step, right? But this year is about more. This year, 2021, I am believing for more for you. I'm believing that you will be able to achieve more in your life than you ever have. But then there is a certain way for you to do that. And that is why today's lesson is called S.P.E.L.L 2021. S.P.E.L.L More 2021. And it's basically an acronym. If you caught my video last week, I was talking about great expectations. And this is basically almost a continuation of that. That in 2021, I'm encouraging you to have great expectations of yourself, great expectations of life, great expectations of your business, great expectations of the things that you're able to do. Yeah. So today I wanted to come and share with you a simple way to get to that place where you are seeing more by following these 5 steps. And I'm calling it S.P.E.L.L because it is an acronym, S.P.E.L.L. And let's get into it real quick. The S in this S.P.E.L.L is for showing up. TD Jakes says showing up is 50% of greatness. Showing up is 50% of greatness. I think that many times we lose opportunities and we lose chances to grow and to succeed because we take showing up lightly. But in this year 2021, I want to challenge you to show up more. I want to challenge you to show up more. There is a Luganda saying, "Ekitali ute kikabya mwana." Yeah? Or the Lusoga will put it, how did the Lusoga put it? Atali utagwirwa muti. Meaning that the person who is not there will not have a tree fall on them. Yeah? But in this case, look at the tree falling as an opportunity. That if you are not present, if you're not in the room, if you've not shown up, the tree will not fall in your lap. Right? So the first thing that I want to challenge you to do, and even as I'm challenging myself every one of this day. Every day of this year, every single one of the days in this year, I want to challenge you to show up to that place where you are expected to be. If it is school, show up. If it is work, show up. If it is your business, show up. Last year, we were forced to be in a place where we could not go to office, or we could not go to our places of work, we could not go to church. But no matter how it turned out to be, for as long as you are expected to be somewhere, you are expected to show up. And many people did not show up. And that is a very big mistake. I like the story of Daniel. The story of David as told by the Bible. It says that his father sent him to take lunch to his brothers and check on how they were doing in the war. But when he got there, he found that within the process of fighting, a giant had come up. And that is how David met Goliath. David met Goliath on a journey of taking lunch to his brothers. I want to think about that. If David had taken the business of delivering lunch to his brothers lightly, he would have missed the opportunity to meet his giant and therefore become a giant killer. So in this case, Goliath is the muti. Goliath is the tree that falls. But if David had not been there, that tree would not have fallen for him. So number one, for you to achieve great growth in your life and everything about you in 2021 is to show up more. Just show up more. Show up and leave the rest to God. The second thing, which is the P, produce more. I was just having a conversation a few moments earlier with my friend Thomas Twesige, and was saying, if you do not produce, you cannot reproduce. If you do not have fruit, you can't multiply. So, what does it take to produce? I think it takes two things. One, it takes you, who are you? And two, what can you do? And then maybe three, going about doing that. So I'll give an example. As Ngonzi the Solution, I am a teacher. By doing this, I am producing. Do you understand? So I can be a teacher, but until I do something about it, I remain a teacher in name. But when I come and make this video, when I come and make this podcast, then I am producing. And the more that I produce, the more that I grow. So this year in 2021, I want you to ask yourself, what has God put in your hands? What has God called you to do? And then go about doing that. Go about being busy about God's business. Go about being busy about your life. Yesterday I was asking a young couple of people, and I was asking them, why should heaven wait for you? I know you're not scared of death, but why should heaven wait for you? Why should heaven give you time? What are you doing with that time? So, for you to grow in 2021, you must be productive. Find something to do that you believe God has created you to do, and just go about that, and just go about being that and nothing more. Just produce. Bible says in John chapter 15 that it is the will of the Father that you produce much and lasting fruit. Again, the word comes, production. So produce more. I'm going to put out more videos this year than ever before. And I'm pledging to put out a minimum of 52 videos this year. That's simply one video a week as a minimum. 52 podcasts this year as a minimum. And what's to stop me from doubling it? Why? I want more. So go out, produce more. The third thing to do about growth in this year is to expect more. I know that after a year like 2020, it's hard for people to want to raise their expectations, but I'm saying no. Please raise your expectations, because if you raise your expectations, you're going to get them. Someone said that aim for the sun. If you don't achieve it, maybe you will fall on the stars. And I think that is what this message is about. Expect more of yourself. Expect more of life. Expect more of life. Expect more of yourself. Do not settle for less. Go into 2021 expecting more. The first thing I said, show up more. The second thing I said, produce more. And the third thing I'm now saying is expect more. You cannot live life waiting for it to happen to you. It's time that you happen to life. It's time that you expected more out of yourself. It's time that you expected yourself to be equal to the task. It's time that you expected yourself to be able to deliver on what you're able to do. So please expect more of yourself. Expect more of others. This year, let it be about you lifting the standard of your expectations of life, from a place of average to a place of more. Expect more. And the fourth thing is learn more. In 2021, I want you to commit to learning more. One of the things that I like to tell people is that I already know what I know, but I do not know what you know. So that is why I challenge myself to keep silent and give you time to express yourself, so that in listening to you, I might gain a deeper insight in life. I might learn something that I did not know before. So that is why I'm requesting you that if you are to grow more in this year, you have to purpose. You have to be intentional and deliberate about growing more through learning more. You don't know everything there is to know. Just because you've grown in years, just because you have pursued school and maybe you have a master's, you have a PhD, my friend, I want to tell you there's something that you do not know. And you'll be amazed why you will find it, but you can't find it if you're not looking. So this year is going to present so many opportunities for growth. Yes? And I want you, this year is going to have so many opportunities for growth, and I want you to purpose to grow more by exposing yourself to new information so that you can learn more. Learn a skill, learn a language. Just learn something more than you do. Add something to yourself this year. Increase and multiply the granaries of knowledge in your life. Are we together? And the fifth and final thing about growth in 2021 is to love more. I want to encourage you to love more. Why am I asking you to love more? It's because we live in a world that is increasingly almost loveless. There's never been a time like now where the world needs love. I've been saying this for a very long time, since 2020. You know, with all the social distancing business, with all the isolation business, people are lonely. 2020 showed us who our true friends were. And so I'm challenging you this year, go out there and purpose to love more. Because the people who love tend to multiply themselves. in others. That's why Jesus said that this is how they'll know that you're my disciples, when you love one another. So, as far as discipling is concerned, you cannot disciple without love. But what is discipleship if it's not growth? As a church at Worship Harvest, currently we are pushing the agenda of multiplying disciples. And if you're one of those people that is from Worship Harvest and that is listening to me, I just want to reiterate that message and say, yes, we must make disciples, and one of the critical things to making disciples is to love more. Love more intentionally. Love more frequently. Love more selflessly. But whatever you do in 2021, I'm asking you to join me in loving more. So this is how you are going to come to a place of growth in 2021, by spelling more. Spell more. Show up more. Produce more. Expect more. Learn more. And love more. So that is what I'm sharing with you today in this podcast, and I'm very excited because, like I said at the beginning of it, that I believe in progress above perfection. Don't wait for things to be perfect before you start. Start where you are, but think big about where you will be. Expect more of yourself. So speaking of expecting more of yourself, I just want to tell you that I'm excited about what is coming in 2021, and you could be one of those people that will be joining me here in the studio set of The Solution Inc. as we produce stories, as we produce life lessons, as we reach the world out there with light bringing, mind-changing information. It's always a blessing and an honor to come to you and share words of wisdom. And even as you enter this week, as you enter this year, I want you to go out expecting greatness, because there's greatness in you. There is growth that is waiting for you, but you just have to be willing to plant the seed, to water the seed, to put in the time, to show up. Because you know what? All things are possible. Those who believe, but more so for those who act. Blessings, people.
Obuntu ye muntu gwe muganda gw'obuntu bulamu. Yeah.